So long ago, like in the 1800s, he meets Otis, and Otis meets P.T. Barnum. And P.T. Barnum is like, all right, so you can't sell on any of these elevators. Here's how we do this, Otis. What we're covering today is one of a really, really powerful marketing strategy and filter to think through. And recently, we made some of these changes recently. Being, I heard this like a few months ago, a couple months ago, we started implementing this, and it's equaled multiple five figures in additional sales. And so, therefore, I think it's worth sharing with all of the movers and shakers like you guys in our community. So it starts with the 7 hijacks to the human brain. There's 7 key hijacks. If you guys think this is cool, we can go through some of the other ones. Today, we're going to be focused on the most powerful one. This is my opinion. The most powerful one of the 7. And you know what it is? It's the powerful demonstration, appropriately. The powerful demonstration. But there's a really, really cool story that starts with Elijah Otis. Yeah, we're going back to the 1800s. This is no joke. Does anyone recognize the last name Otis by chance?
Elevators.
Ooh, Tom, what fades back, good for 3. That, yes, elevators. In fact, like 50+%. And next time you're in an elevator, look at the door, the side panels, and you'll see the name Otis. And that name has to do not with making elevators, or at least, I don't know if he like does that now, but originally, at least, it started with the brakes on elevators. That was his product. But, and look, he lived from, like, the guy didn't even make it to 50, right? 1811 to 1861. Check this out. He made these great brakes, but he could only sell 2 of them a year. He was very hungry and very broke. And when we're running our business, selling our products and services, that is the exact feeling none of us want to have. And so something drastically changed. He didn't 10x or 100x. He 1000x his sales. And I was like, how did he do it? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And it started with this man, P.T. Barnum. Now, this guy's a little more famous, The Greatest Showman, recent, leave it to Hugh Jackman to tell a great story, be a part of a great movie. Have you guys seen the movie? The Greatest Showman? Oh, okay, Tom, I've got kids, and not that it's still a good movie for an adult. It's a quality movie. I do like Hugh Jackman. Anyway, he played this character, P.T. Barnum, which was a marketer, some may call him a con man, he's a very polarizing character. But in this case, man, did it work out. And it started with the Crystal Palace in New York City. So long ago, like in the 1800s, he meets Otis, and Otis meets P.T. Barnum. And P.T. Barnum is like, all right, so you can't sell on any of these elevators. Here's how we do this, Otis. We're going to go to the Crystal Palace. I mean, he's such a big, extravagant, over-the-top thinker. We're going to go to the most influential, biggest building ever to do a demonstration of what your product and service does. So before somebody even walks through that door, them just knowing that you are presenting your product or service in this location already is lending what? Credibility, authority, belief. I'm interested. I think I'm going to like this. It's all pre-framed already. That's a key point to think about. Before somebody's introduced or it comes to your sales calls, or your demo calls, or your workshop, or your webinar, Sky, how can you already pre-frame the authority? That's a more crystallized punchline. All right, let's keep going. But here's the key. He didn't talk about the mechanics and the braking system. He did not talk about how his brakes worked. Otis showed them. And really, this happened because P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Don't care about the rubber or the materials or the interlocked system and the KPI converter that did the rotor, like blah, like no one cares and I don't care. But I got an idea. And so they went to Crystal Palace and they did the powerful demonstration. Picture this in the 1800s, inside one of the most extravagant places, everyone's standing around and Otis himself, this is the lead by example type of framework, right, is standing on what is an elevator at that time, a little different looking, yes? And in 1854, he yells to the top, to P.T. Barnum or the show hand, cut the line, cut the line. Now, why is this so important? If you cut the line, the elevator is going to do what? It's going to drop straight to the ground. Everyone's watching. Is he going to live? Is he going to die? But what he was living and what he was demonstrating was twisting the knife, was exposing everyone's greatest fear. This is something you can write down. What is your customer's greatest fear in the market at the time? In today's world, it might be getting in a car crash with a driverless car. I don't know. We have different fears here now, right? But there's, if you're in a car accident or something, sickness, something's happening here, those are the fears. People there's a lot of elevator accidents that were fatal, right? And so people didn't want to get on these things. That was their greatest fear. And so what Otis's product is obviously the brakes, but the solution was, hey, even if elevators fail, you're still going to live and it's still safe. Your greatest fear, even if the worst case scenario happens, I still can protect you. I have the answer. It's really important to understand the premise, because what do people ultimately buy into? Confidence. They're buying into result. They're buying into their greatest pain going away. If they don't believe that you are better at getting them out of it than they can themselves, they will not give you their money. And guess what? We're no different. If we don't believe those same things too, we don't buy those products and services, right? So here's what happens. He cuts the rope. The thing drops down, locks up. He's still okay. Audience gasps. I mean, this is dramatic at this time. And then everyone's like, well, okay, that's cool. But he's not done. He yells to the show hand again. He says, cut the other rope. Cut the other rope. That means there's no ropes. It's hanging by a thread. There's one last thing there. Everyone's already at the edge of their seat. Most people are like, okay, we get it. We don't want to see you die today. And it's very, very dramatic and emotional. And the swing of the axe comes, the line splits, and the elevator starts dropping. Not just a little budge this time, because there's no rope. It goes down 1 foot. It goes down 2 feet. The audience is freaking out, and it finally locks. The elevator drops just over 2 feet and hits. Like the brakes set in. He's still alive. The audience is like still emotionally, scarred and totally caught up in the moment. And finally, like the chat, imagine the chatter in the room, everyone rooted, all the murmurs and everything going on. And he's standing there, maybe Otis himself is kind of like, okay, am I still alive? Is this a dream? And as the noise in the room kind of settles, he waves his hands up there, signaling to everyone that he's okay. And the magic headline was all safe here, all safe here. The powerful demonstration was complete. And he went, now mind you, the hook is set. Seeing is believing. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, a powerful demonstration is worth 10 cajillion, and that's a number you can Google. It hit home for everyone. So all safe here was the big line. And here's what's cool. He went from selling 2 elevators a year to selling over 2,000 elevators in less than 2 years. Some of his initial clients were the Eiffel Tower. What was that other, I don't know, and I can't remember all the other like historical famous giant buildings, but along the ones that are like the Eiffel Tower, his braking system were put on those elevators, and he forever changed that industry. He innovated, and P.T. Barnum, with the powerful demonstration, was able to market that out there. Now, the reality is, we might not all put ourselves in the path of death and fatality with our demonstrations, our products and services. but the principles that were executed here were really, really important. So this is the big takeaway question. It's how do you demonstrate your value? Not talk about it, not explain it. And Ingalls, we got to talk about this a little bit yesterday, right? It's like, let's not have a sales conversation and da 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 and here, time, money, time, money, time, money. That's all people hear and feel, just like us. How do we just lead with demonstrating it so they just see it and they're like, whoa, that's awesome. We're gonna jump into some examples here. I didn't prepare this example, but this is a very short, simple one. If you're a video editing agency, we're so good and our videos convert like nobody else's. And, right? This is the case. You could talk about all the things, but can you imagine if you had a really clean prospecting system where you could take somebody's current content and remix it within less than an hour, less than 30 minutes, and make an incredible short or medium form piece of content for the business and say, hey, check, here's what I experienced of your product. Here was the gap. But if you said it like this, it would grab me immediately. And then the person just watched it and loved it. You didn't talk about anything. You didn't talk about how good you were at editing and your ability. Someone got to experience that. It was demonstrated. And if you do those for the right people enough times, you're going to get more business than you can handle. And they're going to start referring you because of how they were initially engaged. And now you got a waiting list. You with me on that? All right, let's look at some more examples. This, like, what on earth are we looking at here? Like 7 years ago, 6 years ago, there was this manufacturer in Japan. If you guys have heard of Enagic, it's a Kangen water, and it's a water ionizer. I still drink it every day to this day. Really great product. It's a Japanese product, as I mentioned, so it lasts like 20 plus years. They make really quality products, and it's alkalized water. That's hooked up to our home water system here. It's micro clustered. There's antioxidant in it. It's like, you know, Tony Robbins has got like 5 of these, all like top performing, not all, but like a lot of top performing athletes have this because it's the best grade of water you can get. All right. So now this all being said, you can talk about some of the things I just said, or you can be like, well, here's your options. Here's your options. Let's just measure what you're putting in your body. And if you've ever gone down this path, right now what he's showing is the acidity of the water. Oh, but like Gatorade's okay, right? That's for athletes. Well, it's really acidic and loaded with sugar. Soda's obviously not awesome. Oh, but Fiji's really good, and Aquafina and whatever other water there is, Arrowhead, right? Actually, those are neutral to acidic. And how, I don't know, like I didn't, but if you measure it, they are. So what are you putting in your body? And then you measure some other waters and you're like, well, these ones are more alkaline. Well, you can make anything alkaline with baking soda. Like you can mix, something could be acidic and you could put some baking soda in there and mix it and make it test as more alkaline, but is it really, you know? So you test things. It's a demonstration. So the way that they communicated this product, it was very needed because when I looked at it, I was like, this is ridiculous. Why am I buying a water box? Like, whatever. I just drink bottled water. Who cares? And then they showed me this. I'm like, crap. Now I'm wrecked. Like, now I know. So it switched. All right. They keep going here. The key is the greatest fear. If you can show people what they're putting in their body is, and it's how it's affecting them, and it might be linking to things they've been experiencing but couldn't find the answers to, bingo, got their attention. And we're all the same way. It's got to address the demonstration, has to speak to the greatest fear. And it needs to demonstrate how it can finally be different and go a different direction. Just to take us, how did we process this? And we were like, all right, we help systematize a revenue workflow, revenue generating activities in a way that lets solopreneur and small team and medium team and large team come together and be on the same page with social media DMs. And that's great. The greatest fear and pain is that I'm not going to be consistent. And what do I say? Will it work for me? How much time is this really going to take? These are, and maybe these are some questions that you still wrestle with from time to time. Okay. Well, what did we do? We're like, automations are the answer. We got to find a way. Our tech just needs to keep improving and iterating and making this easier and easier. And so we came out with a challenge. And I'm going to give you a little bonus part of this training here that it's another one of, you guys want to hear one of the other 7 human hijacks that go along really well with the powerful demonstration? All right, I'll share it with you in just a bit. So FlowChat's new automations, we put being able to say like, hey, press play once a day to keep poverty away. It's a funny way of saying like, this is how easy we can make it. Even in some of our new videos, we're like, step 1, get your, I said this in the challenge too, get your morning cup of coffee. Where are my coffee drinkers at? We got Sky, we got one coffee drinker. All right, Harley, Tom, Ingalls, Debbie, you guys don't drink coffee? Congratulate, yeah. You're like, boo. It's crazy. My parents drink maybe 2-3 cups of coffee. They used to drink a pot of coffee a day.
I used to.
You did too? Okay. I never went down the thing. I'm not a coffee drinker either. I probably only I like just I don't only drink water. What else do I drink? My wife makes me drink this like vitamin thing, and I don't know. I'm very very heavy water. Anyway, get your tea, get your water, get your coffee, get whatever beverage you put in your mouth. Step 1. Step 2 is press play on your automations to drive more sales. Step 3, go about your normal workday. Framing it in that light, what does that make you feel? It implies that it's easy, right? Oh yeah, I'm grabbing a cup of coffee, and then I'm going. It's like I just do it on the way of what I'm already doing in my normal day. Write this down. Modifying your customers' daily behaviors is one of the hardest things to do and one of the most profitable things you can do. And so, like Debbie, dealing with grief, if you're able to serve your audience and help them have a new morning routine or practice where they're finally not running from, but leaning towards their own grief in processing so they can start the healing process, and you can modify their daily behavior in a systemized way like that, game over. They're going to daily be benefiting and thinking about the program and product and service that you're providing. Ingalls, and helping SaaSpreneurs with challenges. If every day of them, if they do one challenge a month, but every week of that month and every day of that month, they have a task list and they know what to do to prepare for that one challenge per month to be the most successful as it pertains to funnels, the email follow-up and workflows, and SMS work, the whole picture. They will be thinking and benefiting from the service that you're providing. You guys see where I'm going with this to be more granular and right? Okay. So for us, we're communicating press play once a day. Here's how easy it is. Here's your new daily behavior. Damn, man, I'm just leaking them all over the place here. Daily behavior, changing daily behavior is one of the 7 hijacks too. All right. But here's the other hijack that I really want to tell you guys. And it's events. It's events. It's all the way back here. P.T. Barnum was a master at creating events. A challenge is an event. Sky, a webinar is an event. It's an event. And how can you position that authority earlier in the sales journey and process? You'll see in 2024, in our challenges, it's not going to just be us. We're going to continue. You'll see some guest speakers come to those challenges and teach how they have what? They have won in DMs. For example, like if you could see somebody that's done multiple 8 figures in sales using DMs, and would you want to see what they're doing? What are their workflows? What are their conversations like in DMs? Come to the event. Come to the FlowChat challenge, 3-hour DM challenge to see da 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 da. It's the Crystal Palace move, right? And then once we get there, we're going to see the demonstration of this now happening for us automatically. The greatest fear is it not, what if it doesn't work for me, or what if it's too overwhelming to set up, or what if it's the thing I know I need but I never quite figure out and it never actually drives value for me. Well, what if I told you that when you sign up today and you get the pipeline that already has the automation in it, you just got to fill it with leads. You can press play once a day and keep poverty away. You're like, ooh, the gap between this being the right thing and me getting the thing is getting closer. And the urgency, the FOMO, all those, marketing, emotional human experiences start to increase, which means the vote with the credit card goes faster and faster. You guys with me? All right. So this is like, you know, oh, something I can tell you is a marketing masterclass, and it's not because I'm awesome and created these 7 human hijacks. I totally hijacked this from a guy named Craig Clemens. He's done over $1 billion in sales, and I heard this on a podcast that I really like. And he like, one of the things that you might know him from are probiotics. Have you noticed that probiotics over the last couple years, few years or so, it's like, dang, that probiotics are like the new cranberries. They're getting into every juice, every drink, all over the place. You know what I mean? You know, well, you can thank Craig Clemens for that. Now it's a pretty saturated category, but no one was really thinking and talking about it. And he leveraged some of these human hijacks to do crazy amounts of sales with probiotics. And so he outlined these very well. And I heard this story about Otis from him, and the powerful demonstration. I was like, this is so freaking cool. I guess my wife is right. I'm actually a business and marketing nerd, because that's, this stuff crushes Disney for entertainment for me. So anyway, that's what I have for you guys for today. So the punchline is this: how do you demonstrate your value? We can go into Q&A and explore that a little more granularly together.